Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My cat's trying to attack me. In today's video we're going to be talking about the legend of Mothman. So grab a drink or grab a snack and let's get into it. I've got my cup of tea. So the legend of Mothman starts in a small town called Point Pleasant in West Virginia. The first sighting of Mothman was in mid-November 1966. The first sighting ever recorded of Mothman was in mid-November 1966 when two young couples fled the local woods claiming that they'd seen a terrifying creature. They recounted their story to the local sheriff and reported that the creature looked mainly like a human, except it had 10-foot wings and glowing red eyes. Since this first sighting, many more had been reported and recorded, but people's main concern was that there seemed to be paranormal activity linked to when this Mothman started to be seen. For example, the most memorable one was in 1967 when a bridge called the Silver Bridge, which was connecting Point Pleasant to Ohio, collapsed with no warning. It was rush hour, so there were cars lined up from bumper to bumper on this bridge, and it collapsed, creating a huge tragedy for the town of Point Pleasant. 64 people died in this tragic accident. Many witnesses claimed that they saw Mothman that exact day around that exact area. Now, one of the most terrifying and early on sightings of Mothman is this one. It's the one I talked about earlier, which was the first sighting, but it goes a lot deeper than just seeing a humanoid figure with 10-foot wings and red glowing eyes. When they fled the forest, they claimed that they saw this huge creature standing in front of their car, and when they took off, it started chasing them down the roads up to speeds of 100 miles per hour. And when I say chasing, I don't mean running, I mean flying above them. They finally lost him when he flew off over a field towards the end of the route, but I'm sure that memory stuck with them forever. Another sighting reported of Mothman from a guy who lived in a nearby town called Salem. All of these towns, honestly, Point Pleasant, Salem, they sound infatuating, honestly. He claimed that strange patterns began to take over his screen on his television one evening. Then he said he heard a very odd noise coming from outside, so he took his flashlight and he shined outside, and what he saw was two glowing red eyes staring back at him. Shortly after that, his dog disappeared, never to be seen again, which breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Now, this may have not been known at the time, but there may have been an earlier sighting of Mothman. They just didn't realise it at the time. Just a few days before this, two men were working a job in a graveyard, and they looked up to see a huge, and I quote, brown human being flying over their heads. This is my cat, Hope. Can you see her? I hope you can. She's very cute. Now, obviously we have skeptics of this story, even though more and more cases just kept being reported and reported over time. But one professor of biology or something stupid, basically a scientist, suggested that it was instead, a sandhill crane that had been spotted loads of times, which is essentially a big bird with red eyes. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a 10-foot man-like creature with huge wings and red beaming eyes. I don't know about you, but I don't think there's any correlation there, but whatever. Now, although this did strike tragedy in the town of Point Pleasant, they sort of take pride in how they got famous. They actually have a huge life-size sort of statue of the Mothman in their town centre, which when I first became aware of Mothman and I was like infatuated, like I was obsessed with it when I was a bit younger, like maybe 10 or 11, I was like, oh, I couldn't get enough of Mothman stuff. I watched so many documentaries, I was so intrigued in it, and it was like my biggest dream to go and see the Mothman statue. But now, I don't know if I could, knowing that I could turn around any minute and see a 10-foot Mothman staring back at me. Anyway, this is probably quite a short video, but those are all the anecdotes I could sort of find about Mothman. The main thing is that the first sighting was in 1966, and then just over a year later, a bridge collapsed for no apparent reason, killing 64 people, and sightings continued. So let me know what you think. Do you think it was this sandhill stork that this biologist was talking about? Or do you believe the urban legend that there is a terrorising 10-foot Mothman stalking the town of Point Pleasant in West Virginia? Personally, that's what I'd like to believe, but I'll leave that down to you guys. I'm literally stuck here now I don't know if you can see properly, but my cat is sat on my thigh and I'm stuck on the floor. I'm sat on the floor now, so that's fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back again very soon to talk about absolutely nothing.